Welcome to another episode of Real Estate, Real Life, Real Talk, and Real Live with the Real Secrets of Money with your host, myself, Damon J. Brockenberry, the extraordinary CEO of DTA and Associates, and Damon the Agent by many of you who already know me. As always, today is Friday, November the 7th, 2025. Y'all, time is fine. This year has flown by quickly. So, before we begin, as always, please follow me on all social media platforms. If you're not following me already, on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, Threads, Snapchat, TikTok, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And I thank you always for joining me. As always, I want to get into the wonderful world of real estate. Now, today I'm going to be talking about prepping your home for the winter. And this goes for regular homeowners who do not plan on selling their homes. And this also goes and applies to those who are looking to put their house on the market to get the highest return on investment, ROI, as we call it in the real estate terms. So, number one, I want to talk about is energy efficiency equals real savings. Now, for many people, you know, the windows and doors are very critical during the winter months because air tends to seep in and underneath the doors. And, when it's real hard, you can hear it bustling against your wind. So, seal your windows and door. Drafts can increase heating costs by 10 to 20%. Simple chalking or weather stripping can make a big difference. Add insulation in the attic, which is one of the highest ROI winter upgrades. And then upgrade your thermostats to smart thermostats and programmable one. Excuse my verbiage. Programmable smart thermostats are very good these days. If you call your gas and heating company, a lot of times they will offer you the latest upgraded one that will help you also to save on your thermostat. Number two, protect against water damage. For those of you, clean your gutters and downspouts. This prevents ice damages and foundation leaks. Check grading. Make sure water flows away from your home. Now, for some people who have the spout coming down, just down, you really want to get it going away. You can add on an extension if you go to Home Depot or Lowe's for a couple of dollars the extension. But that coming down, I just sold a house during the summertime in which there was damage on the front, and it was because of the way that the water is coming down. The water flow is coming directly on the porch. So if you can extend it away from the home, that's very critical. Okay. Inspect your sump pumps in the basement seals to avoid winter flooding and molds. People don't understand. I know a lot of people who are not into this. The best thing is going to be to get a professional HVAC to do the inspection. Now, during every season, a lot of companies are calling homeowners to give them special savings during the wintertime, during the springtime. They tend to do this to do a checkup. Many of them will give you a free checkup. I would strongly recommend to hire a HVAC professional to, to ensure the furnace is safe and efficient, and also to look at your hot water heating and also your HVAC. Change your filters regularly. Increases air quality and performance. Okay, now for the exterior and the curb, trim overhanging branches. Now, even though the leaves are falling off of most trees, what tends to happen is if you don't trim the branches, as it gets cold, those branches get hard, the wind, and then if it snows or rain, it falls. The best time to do this is now to prevent storm damage. Power wash the siding of your home before freezing temperatures hit. And this is a good idea. Check the roof and chimney. Small cracks can turn into big leaks. Add warm lighting and a new doormat if you can. Again, like I said, this is for homeowners who are not selling their home, but it's also for people who are selling their home. Subtle touches that makes homes more inviting for holiday showings. And this was for when people have their house on the market. If you have different mats, if you have the decorative around the home on the front. Some people that's very cozy. Okay. Interior comfort upgrades. Add draft stoppers, rugs, heavy curtains. Upgrade your lighting. Now, shorter days mean buyers notice dim or outdated fixtures, meaning when they walk into the home, it's in this area, it tends to get dark around 4:30, 5 o'clock. When people go into your home, if you're selling your home and the lighting is dim, it tends to not give a good appeal of your home. The brighter it looks and shows, the better. For those who have fireplaces, have your fireplace inspected and staged beautifully if you tend to, don't want to have your fireplace on. Just have your fireplace staged. These things tend to help add value to your home. And also, these are people prepping for the winter month. Now, also, when I was mentioning the programmable thermostat, if you can program it and you can, excuse me, and you can set it to automatically adjust when you come in, when you leave, that'll also help rather than having your thermostat on the entire time when you're not home. That tends to run up the electricity bill and make your bill higher. So to have an adjustable programmable one will actually save you money in the long run. All right. So I'll be right back because I am coming back with my Q&A, and I have quite a few Q&As today. So give me 1 second. All right, all right, all right. All right. So for those of you, if you all have any questions that you would also like to have answered when it pertains to real estate, please feel free to leave it in the comments or DM me or text me your Q&As. All right. Let's begin. The first Q&A, the first question is, what credit scores do lenders look at when you are buying a home? What credit score do lenders look at when you're buying a home? Good question. What happens is lenders tend to pull all three of your credit reports and all three of your credit scores from all three bureaus, TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian, and they focus on your middle score. Now, what you have to understand is everyone's scores are different. So for someone, they may have a 700 with Experian, 650 with TransUnion, and a 600 with Equifax. They're going to focus on the 650. Okay. Doesn't matter who the credit bureau was reporting, they're focusing on your score, not the bureau. All right. So the next question is, what are the pros and cons of selling as is in today's market? What are the pros and cons of selling as is in today's market? That's a good question. Here's the thing. The pros from selling as is meaning that a lot as a seller, you're not responsible for anything that pertains to when a person buys the home. If anything comes up during the home inspection, you as the homeowner have already waived the right to not be responsible for anything that may come up. That's the pros to it. The cons to selling it is when you're selling your home as is, most people are going to offer you less than list price because they feel like they are taking on a home where they are inheriting something and they have to fix things up. In which, if the seller's not going to fix it up, let's say during the home inspection, and the buyer has to be responsible for that, then they're going to most likely offer you less. So the pro, as you're selling your home as is you're not going to be responsible for anything because you're selling it as is. The con is most buyers are going to feel like because they are responsible, they're going to offer you a lower price than what you have your house listed for. The next question: should sellers accept the highest offer or the most reliable one? Should sellers accept the highest offer or the most reliable one? That's a good question. I will always tell people, because here's the thing: when you get an offer, especially in this market, it is best to work with that offer because you don't know when the next offer is going to come in. And a lot of times when sellers start to get offers early, and if it's not list price or something that they feel like they really want, they'll go back to negotiating, and sometimes the buyers will just leave. And then when the buyers leave, they thinking another better offer is coming around the corner, and sometimes it doesn't come. And then they're like, Dad, we should have worked with that other offer. Then when they do get an offer, it's 9 times out of 10 lower than that first offer that they should have worked with. So should they accept the highest offer or the most reliable offer? I think they should accept the best offer, because you don't know what's going to be the highest and you don't know what's going to be most reliable. Sometimes buyers tend to go through the process, and some of them, unfortunately, may not finish the process because of finances or something comes up. So you tend to think all offers are reliable when they come in. You tend to think that. You tend to think all buyers are ready, willing, and able. The key word is able, which means they are reliable. But sometimes you find that they're not. And then on top of that, when you get an offer, you don't always know if that's the highest offer you're going to get or what. Now, if you have multiple offer situation, of course, most sellers are going to want to go with the highest offer because they feel as though they net the most by going with the highest offer. But in some cases, the higher offer is not always which brings the seller the most net, because you have to factor in buyers may have contingencies in the contract, and some may be asking for closing costs. So let's say hypothetically, if someone listed, they made an offer for 700,000, and you have a buyer who's asking for 5% closing, which 5 times 7 is 35,000. So if you take 35,000 away from 700,000, that means the seller is at 665. And let's say you have another offer that's at 695, but it's being bought for 695. No closing costs is actually being asked by the buyer. Okay, so that 695 is actually less than the 700,000 offer, but the seller is netting more with the 695. So you have to always look at all the terms of the contract to determine what is the best offer for the seller. The next question: what are the top 3 things a seller should fix before listing? What are the top 3 things a seller should fix before listing? Okay, here are some things. When a seller lists their home, they should actually declutter their home. Many sellers are so used to living in their homes and they feel like everything's okay. They may straighten up, but what they fail to realize is they don't declutter. If you open up the closet doors, because most buyers will open up the closet door to see if the closet is big enough and have enough space for them and their things. So when you open up most closet doors, a lot of times sellers will throw things in there, or they'll throw things in their garage. I would strongly recommend that sellers declutter their house. Number 2, get a deep cleaning. Sometimes people think that because their routine cleaning is good enough. Honestly, it is not. A lot of times when you get a second or third opinion from other people, especially professionals, you tend to see the difference. So declutter, a deep cleaning, and then also in the winter months, I would say to have the house showing ready, meaning accessible. Be very accessible. Like, for example, I took a buyer out this week. She wanted to see the house on Monday. The seller declined the showing and wanted the buyer to come back on Saturday. Guess what? The buyer wrote an offer on another property. See, sellers miss out on opportunities when they try to reschedule a buyer, because the thing is, though, most sellers don't know a buyer's schedule. Whenever a buyer wants to see that particular home, they need to allow them, because 9 times out of 10, a buyer's not coming back. And it makes the buyer and the agent feel like, do they really want to sell the property? Especially when you schedule these appointments well in advance, hours in advance, 12 hours in advance, sometimes 24 hours in advance, and then they get declined. You're trying to figure out what's really going on. So as far as what they should fix, like I said, they should declutter. They should do a deep cleaning. They should make it accessible. As far as what they should fix is, it depends on what's broken. I mean, if nothing is really broken, I wouldn't fix anything. If you have something majorly wrong, like your HVAC, of course, you want to fix those things. But like I said, if you declutter your home, you do a deep cleaning, you make your house accessible before the listing, these things tend to help. The next question: should sellers always offer closing cost help? Should sellers always offer closing cost help? This is a good question. Now, here's the thing. I always say it depends on the market that we are in. Like currently, we have more houses on the market than we do buyers. So yes, you should. But if you're in a seller's market, then no, You shouldn't, because you're going to 9 times out of 10 get an offer anyway. And again, it's going to take away from the seller's net proceeds of what they're going to earn. So should sellers always offer closing cost help? It depends on the market. In this current market, yes, they should offer, okay? Because that's an incentive for the buyer. What's your view on escalation clauses, smart or risky? What's your view on escalation clauses, smart or risky? Again, this depends on the market and location. Here's the thing. As a listing agent like myself, I don't want to deal with a lot of escalation clauses if I get 5, 10, 15 offers that come in on the property, because that means basically you have to go in and sometimes they just $1,000 more and everything. That's why a lot of times you will see that agents will put submit your highest and best offer. It is extremely tedious when an agent has multiple offers to go through the escalation clauses to see what the buyer is trying to do. See, that strategy may be good for a buyer. It is not good for a seller or a listing agent, because a lot of times you want the best offer. You don't have time to figure out, okay, they want to go $1,000 more than the offer, but they max at this price and everything. It's a risky situation, if you want to know my opinion. The reason why I say is because it depends on the agent, it depends on the location. Some places don't even accept escalation clauses. That's number one. Number two, most agents are going to say submit your highest and best offer when there's a lot of offers to be made, because of all the tedious work, looking through things, figuring out how much the buyer want to go up. In some cases, buyer only want to go up $500 more. It's not worth it. So is it smart for the buyer? Yeah, it's smart, but it's also risky for a buyer, because if I have a hot property that I list, I'm going to say submit your highest and best offer, meaning your buyer needs to put their best foot forward the first time. How badly do they want the house? If they don't want it that bad, that's understandable, because somebody else does. So it's a smart thing, but it's also a risky thing. I wouldn't advise it to my particular buyer. I would speak with the agent to see how things are going first, because you don't want to submit an offer and then they turn around and say, oh, submit your highest and best offer. And then that was your highest and best offer. And sometimes it still works out. It just really depends. The next question, what's the best advice you can give a first-time buyer who is losing hope? What's the best advice you can give a first-time buyer who is losing hope? I would say right now, keep hope alive, because here's the thing. It's a buyer's market, meaning this market is for you. It's for you. If your credit is straight and you have down payment or some money, I would strongly recommend you speak to a reputable lender. You can come through me. I can guide you and everything. But I also want to say to the buyer, be realistic too. Don't think that, oh, because the economy is going bad and, oh, I'm looking for prices to drop. Prices are not going to drop $300,000, $400,000, $500,000. If they drop, they might drop 10, 15,000. And what you have to take into consideration is that is still higher than what houses was 5 years ago in 2020. So we're not going to go back to 1999 prices or 2000 prices. You have to be realistic. So the thing about it is, though, if you're losing hope, I would strongly say you need to speak to people that are going to inspire you, give you more hope when it pertains to buying a home, because you can buy it. Don't think that you have to be wealthy to buy a house. You don't. You just have to be smart enough and connected to the right people. See, a lot of times what people fail to realize is relationships will get you things that money can never get you. And having a right relationship with a person like me gives you a lot of connections. I'm connected to a lot of people. So, and then here's the last question of the day. What Fannie Mae, hold up, with Fannie Mae lowering the credit score from 620, do you think this will be a major impact? With Fannie Mae lowering the credit score from 620, do you think this will be a major impact? No, not immediately. Okay. And the reason why I say that is because the government is still shut down. When people don't have money, it doesn't matter. They can't buy anything. When people don't have money, they can't spend. So do I think this will be a major impact? No, not as long as this government is shut down. And even when the government does open up, you have to understand that when you lose things, lose money, get behind, it's hard playing catch up sometimes. So we're going to be going into 2026 playing catch up if the government was to reopen next week. So do I think this will be a major impact? No, no, because people are going to be very skeptical moving forward as long as the same administration is moving in, and some people are not going to want to spend. Don't get me wrong, there's still people out here who are buying, just like I mentioned my client from earlier this week. But some people are not buying on the same level as they was before. People are watching their spending. So do I think this will be a major impact? No, I do not think it will be a major impact. I think it will help some people, but a major impact? No, I don't think it will be a major impact. All right, let me go into my house of the week. As always, I always like to talk about the house. Okay, this house right here is in Crofton, Maryland. This house is a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, only $399,900. It is in a desirable neighborhood, right across the street from major shopping, bowling, entertainment, everything. This is not too far from Gambris. It is in a desirable area. So I would strongly suggest that if you're interested in this, as you can see, gas stove, chandelier, lighting in the kitchen, recessed lighting as well throughout the house. It has a deck, 2-car parking, nice size primary suite with the primary bath. Sunlight rooftop in the bathroom. So you can sit in your soaking tub and enjoy your TV as you read the book. Again, marble shower floors. Yes, yes, yes. And it also has the latest and greatest washer and dryer. This would be perfect for a first-time home buyer or someone who has a family of 4, maybe even a family of 5 or 6, depending on how many kids, and even a dog. So, if you're interested or want to know more details about this home that's located in Crofton, Maryland, please reach out to me and let me know. All right. Okay. So, I'm going to be back with my topic of the week. Okay. Before I talk about my topic of the week, please, if you're not following me on all social media platforms, please do so. All right. So, my topic of the week is about mindset. And the reason why I want to talk about mindset is because there are so many different mindsets out there. We have people who have a wealth mindset. We have people who have a poverty mindset. We have people who have a ghetto mindset. We have people who have a gangster mindset. We have people who have a get over mentality. And that means they're always trying to get over on people. We have people who are liars, cheaters, manipulators. So the mindset of so many people that you and I encounter is mind blowing at times, because sometimes when you get through looking at people, you may wonder, well, how and why do they even think like that? It's just like how we can't get along in this country politically because one party thinks the other one is better or right. This describes a cynical, competitive worldview. These phones be listening. I did not do that, I promise you. So again, when it pertains to mindset, I realize that a lot of times we as an individual have to get our own mindset right. Meaning, if you have a goal of changing your body and you want to say, okay, I don't like my body, I'm too fat or I'm too skinny, I want to bulk up. You have to change your mindset first before you can even ever get there. Not just your schedule, but your mindset. You have to really focus on your mindset. And see, I want to challenge people into reading because, reading helps a lot to actually change your mindset, depending on whatever it is you want to do in life. Whatever you want to do in life, You can change it by changing and picking up a book. Now, because so many people have smartphones these days, I would strongly recommend you all using an Audible. If you actually are subscribed to Amazon Music, they give you the Audible for free. If you have the unlimited package, they give it to you for free. You can pick any book every month. I strongly recommend you to really start to read, people. I know a lot of people like to stroll. They like to look at videos all the time. They're on TikTok. They're on Instagram. They just want to look at video. But even though these are called smartphones, these phones are actually dumbing people down because we don't actually have to use our mind to think like we used to a lot of time. And then with Chat GPT, it does a lot of the thinking for you. So now a lot of us are not using our critical thinking skills, and we're losing a lot of things. We're losing things, y'all, mentally. This is why people, a lot of times are stumbling over words. This is the reason why people can't remember things that they just, and I'm not talking about because of old age. I'm talking about because the smartphones are dumbing us down. So I challenge everyone out there to read a book, okay? To read a book once a month, one book a month. You don't have to pick a book a week, one book a month. Pick you a book, whatever it is you're trying to do in life, whether you're trying to change your body for your summer body next year, whether you're trying to change your finances to increase, whether you're trying to change your credit score, whether you're trying to change your relationship, whether you're trying to have a better relationship with God. I strongly recommend everyone pick up the book, the Bible. Pick up the Bible and the Quran if you're a Muslim, but pick it up and read it, y'all. Don't just go on your phone, stroll, because here's the thing about the phone, and I'm telling you this from experience. You will go and start, let's say you go to the Bible app, and then you'll get text message or phone call, and now you're distracted. You're distracted. It's taking you away from what you was focused on. The only way to change things in your life is you're going to have to change your mindset. I don't care what you're trying to change. Your mindset has to change first because everything begins up here. Everything begins up here. That's why me as a person, I'm always very grateful for my sanity and my health because I know without those two, I have nothing. I don't care if you're a trillionaire. You ain't got your mind, you ain't got nothing. You ain't got your health, you ain't got nothing. But what I'm trying to do is challenge everyone out there to read a book a month to help change your mindset. Pick a topic that you want to improve on. Self-improvement. If we focus on self-improvement, I guarantee you could change anything in your life that you want to badly enough. Anything. But it all begins in your mind, your mindset. Just think about it. When you see that person over there who's wealthy, and you saying, "Dang, how they do that?" And you look at them and you say, "Well, there ain't nothing special about them that I can't do." It's their mindset. When you see these little YNs out here doing all this crazy stuff, it's their mindset. When you see people who are, let's say you go somewhere and it's a whole fight that broke out, it's their mindset. It's the mindset that enables everything that's going on around you and also what's going on with you. So I challenge you to change your mindset, to improve you. And you do that by starting with a book. Get a self-help book because sometimes we have the intentions on doing things. It's just like a person who has the potential to be good, to be great, but they never reach their potential. And part of the reason they never reach their potential is because they never got started. Part of the reason they never got started is because whatever was going on in their world, things happen. Life happens to us all. We get distracted. We got problems that come up. We got family. We got bills. We got, kids, relationships, health issues, everything with people. Life happens. But if you want to change things badly enough, you got to change your mindset. So again, I challenge everyone to read a book in the month of November and then to make progress to what you want to do and what you want to be, let's say next year this time. All right, y'all. Now, I have several books that I need to pick back up and read, okay? So I'm going to start with my book called The Power of Procrastination. My book is around here somewhere, but I'm going to start with that. So I'm going to do a recap, and then we're going to get up out of here because Thanksgiving is coming up soon, and next week is Veterans Day, y'all. So real quick, here's the recap. Prepping your home for winter months. Listen, There are little small things that you can do now that will make a big impact later. Make sure that you do them and rewind this to see what I talked about. And if you're on YouTube, check out my YouTube channel so you can basically go back as well. And I just said about mindset. Mindset is the key to everything, y'all. To everything. The reason why we're on different levels is because of our mindset. Sometimes there are people on your level. Sometimes there are people who are not on your level. And there's other people that you might want to be on their level. But the way you get there is you change your mind. When you change your mind, you change your world. And if you content and happy with your world, so be it. But if you're not, I strongly recommend that you change your mindset. All right. So real quick, I'm going to give you my commercial going out. And I thank each and every one of you. You all have a great day. Please follow me on all social media platforms. And remember, Damon the Agent.
We sure could use the money.
Time for some upgrades. We're pregnant.
Oh my goodness, I need to downsize.
We buy houses for cash as is.
Damon the Agent. A name you can trust. Because every house I touch turns to soul. Ha ha. Y'all have a great weekend. I'll talk to y'all soon.